Like you said, he's got 3 rings, right? And just to clarify, none of those rings are with Toronto, right?
Is Fraser Minton going to have more points than Safkovsky this year? Fraser Minton sucks at hockey. This guy might not even be an NHLer, so we got to settle down on that one.
Adelaide, no. Minus 160 on will they show her holding a drink in her hand.
They are 2 points behind the St. Louis Blues in the wild card, and they are.
Oh, the Blues are dog water. The Blues suck. The Blues are the worst of those 4 teams that I mentioned by a mile.
And
they're not a good hockey team.
Care, like have some set of balls, have some response, have some pride for what the hell goes on the ice. It's so absurd.
I'm looking forward to the parade, but that's going to be later in the year.
I'd rather have so money in that than have Arbor Soda Bomb. I would rather stack a bunch of garbage that I have in the corner of my room over here than have Arbor Soda Bomb in that. He's
March 4th, welcome back to Edgework. I'm Zack Phillips, joined here on this Monday morning by Alex Moretto, and the man who Alex B. Smith would rather have in net than Arvid Soderblom, So Money, debuting our brand new intro here, as we are now presented by STX Betting Exchange in Ontario. Make sure to sign up for STX Betting Exchange. STX is a unique sports betting opportunity where if you are sick of getting limited and profiled, STX offers higher limits and better pricing. You can find offers at a fair and real-time marketplace for users to bet on the outcome of sporting events, offering better odds in a peer-to-peer marketplace. STX is the best option for anyone who wants to wager on live sports. Add STX to your list of outs today and sign up over there using the link in the description of the video. You can get commission-free trading when you sign up now. The option is yours at STX. Make sure to check them out. New sponsor here on the Edgework Show, and that doesn't happen without you guys watching. So make sure to hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel. We do appreciate all the support, but the opportunity to work with a company like STX does not happen without you guys. So thank you very much, and it's pretty exciting to get things started here. I mean, we're talking about new opportunities, new things going on for the Edgework Show. Well, we're going to need some new things going on this week after what was a tough week last week. You know, we didn't have the greatest week in terms of ROI or record here on the show. And on Saturday, we go 2-3. We did lose 1.3 units on the day there. That brings us to 274, 275, and 6 on the season. 549 bets. That's a 4.9% ROI for us. We are still up 27 units. I mean, nothing to scoff at there. But that being said, I mean, come on. Let's turn things around here. Let's get back in the winning side of things. And so, Money, I'm curious how your weekend was, and if you're ready to get back on the right foot here today.
My weekend was okay. The Leafs on Saturday night actually helped me out quite a bit. I think that without Mitch Marner there, I think it would have been a tough weekend for me. But other than that, it was fine. Canucks did what they were supposed to do. Very, very professional win last night. Went in there, got the win, got out. Didn't look great, but it was a professional win, and that's all I'm looking for right now. So, and I still look at the standings. Canucks are still first in the division, so that's all that matters.
Well, there you go. And Moretto, as for yourself and the Habs, I saw you battling with some people online about Slavkovsky. Are you okay now? Have things simmered down?
No battles. Nothing but love for Jake Beliefs. I just found it funny. I just found it funny there. It felt like kind of a pot calling kettle black situation. Saturday was a pretty good betting day. Hopefully the Leaf has turned over now in March, and we're on to bigger and better things. Definitely not the best end to February, but I think dog days of the NHL season there. Just our sort of dog days too. Now we're getting into the trade deadline. We're remotivated a little bit here. New sponsor STX. STX good at great exchange here. I mean, if you're looking for books where getting limited and stuff like that, which is a big problem in the landscape these days, this is not something you have to worry about there. And if you want, zero hold and good fills and everything, it's about as good as it can get for that. We only like to work with partners that we believe in, and we very much believe in what Stacks are doing. And now hopefully this is going to kickstart a nice winning run for us, and I feel pretty good about the card today. So I feel good about it.
Yeah, and I mean, talking about decent weekends, obviously here for us, 2-3. But shout out to Alex B. Smith there, who had himself a pretty good day yesterday. Hyman first goal plus 1,000, Edmonton goal, our first Edmonton goal plus 550. So shout out to him. He'll be back on the show later this week. Obviously, Moretto here hopping in on this Monday morning, but things will be a little bit rearranged throughout the week. He will be back with us, so don't worry about that. If you are watching right now, you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel. We want 5,000 subscribers. I mean, I'm just gonna get greedy with it. I'm not talking about 2,500. I'm not talking about 3,000 here. Let's get to 5,000 by playoff time. So if you are watching, you haven't already, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all the supports. But also, final thing from the weekend, by the way, shout out to Jeremy. He was in my post game live stream on Saturday, and took that loss with grace. So shout out to Jeremy, because that was a head-to-head opportunity for myself, Alber, and the other Rangers fans who watched this Edgework show, and they showed up to the post-game stream, and it was all class. It was all class. So shout out to them. Let's get to the games here today. We do have 6. We're going to run through all of them, and we will first start in Philadelphia, where the Flyers are hosting the St. Louis Blues here tonight. So, Money, if you look at the board here right now, the Flyers are favored -130, the Blues +124. You can find totals at around 6, 5.5 on some different books, but those ones would be slow moving to that 6 as we are kind of approaching that across the market here. What are your thoughts on this game here tonight and where things are currently priced at?
So we talked last week about how my outlook for the Blues has changed over the last couple of weeks here. I did think that they would have been the least efficient of the teams around them. However, I think that they're probably one of the worst teams in the league right now. They're not they don't generate consistently. I think a lot of times we're seeing their goaltending has actually bailed them out, which is surprising. But if you look at Binnington and Hofer's stats, they're fine, right? So there's that. Philadelphia, we've talked about Philadelphia all year. This is the team that they're not going anywhere. Now you look at their number, we're seeing them into the mid 130s at home, right? So yes, that's a little bit inflated, but against this Blues team that it's really tough to back right now, it's not something that I can make a case for. The total does interest me. St. Louis, I just mentioned they don't generate much consistently. We know the way that Philadelphia wants to play, so I do have that under 6. I've got it to -110, and the goaltending for Philadelphia a little bit concerning, just because it can be inconsistent. But you have to counter that with whether St. Louis can take advantage of that. And at this point, I don't think it matters who is in goal for the Flyers because of the way the Blues are playing. So for those reasons, we did lock in the under 6 here.
Okay, under 6 -108. And what is your cutting off point there on the under 6? So, Money?
I've got it up to -112.
All right, perfect. So you should be able to find that available out there. And if not, then make sure to head over to Stacks. You can offer that up in the exchange. But we will lock this in here so far. Under 6 -108 as the first bet of the day. Moretto, I mean, that's got to be music to your ears starting off the day with an under here.
Yeah, after I was disrespected on last Tuesday's show and so Money and Russ filling in, couldn't lock in a single under. It's nice to see we've come full circle here. So I do agree. I definitely agree here with the fact that, I mean, I've made no secret about my disdain for the Blues as a hockey team. I think they are hot garbage. There's very little that they do well. Offensively is about the worst part of their game. And it's not even like they're winning because of a hot power play or something. I mean, their power play is garbage too. They just can't generate anything right now. They're basically just riding Binnington, who's playing out of his mind, which is conducive to an under here for sure. And you have, obviously, the Flyers are big fans of low event hockey. Urson has not been necessarily the best, but no Konechny still, which is big here. He was maybe going to be back tonight, but they've said he is not going to be back tonight. So that also helps the under here. So yeah, I agree on the under myself, under 6 at pretty widely available right now.
All right. And one game down, one bet locked in, and yet I go over to the stream and not enough likes here so far. So if you haven't already, less than 50% of the people watching the show have liked it. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel, turn on notifications. Let's continue to move on here. Moretto will take now a look at this New York Rangers team hosting the Florida Panthers here tonight in New York. The Rangers plus 114, the Panthers minus 120 right now. And you can find totals at 6 yet again. 5.5s out there as well. Heavily juiced to the over on the 5.5. You can find some plus money on the over 6s there. And you can kind of look around minus 110, minus 114 on the under 6s. Where are you at in terms of this game and where things are currently priced?
So two games, two unders. Are we feeling that? Because I am on the under here. These are the only two unders that I'm on today, full disclosure. But yeah, this is, I mean, the two teams that have the best 5-on-5 save percentage in the NHL, dating back to the All-Star break. They are just getting great goaltending. I mean, Shesterkin's been fantastic. Panthers are getting great goaltending, and they're playing some pretty suffocating defense. You look at these two teams, it's actually very kind of interesting to see the way they both played over the month of February. Rangers have won 11-13, Panthers 10-11, but they've done so very differently. The Panthers continue to dominate teams, sort of relentless offensively, suffocating defense, whereas the Rangers have been kind of getting caved every night, and they're just sort of relying very heavily on Shesterkin to sort of bail them out, and quick as well. So yeah, I do expect kind of the same here, where this low event Rangers offense will struggle to generate against the Panthers, and Shesterkin, which I do expect to start tonight, considering they don't play again until Saturday. This is their last game before the trade deadline for the Rangers. I expect him to be in there, and I think he will be able to limit the damage, and he will keep them in this game, and we'll see sort of a low scoring game here. So yeah, under 6 at any of these prices, good for me. And if you do prefer, a 5.5 plus 110 or something like that, plus 1, I don't hate that either, but my preference here would be the 6s.
All right, so grab under 6 minus 114 there. Best price available on the board on the BetStamp app as of right now. We'll lock that in as our second play of the day and second under here. No so money. Back-to-back unders. Are you in agreement with where Moretto's at, and just kind of maybe some thoughts on where the money line is currently shaped out to be?
Yeah, I do agree with the under. Throughout most of the season, we were betting under 6.5s in Florida games, and then those got adjusted to 6, and then we started seeing juice 6s, right? So like that kind of took us out of the market. In this game, the edge I see on the under here is that there's no problem anymore with Shesterkin's play. It was him that was holding us back on betting Rangers unders, in light of the fact that they've been inconsistent offensively all year, right? And they do give up more defensively than the other elite teams around them. But now, so none of that has changed. But Shesterkin has been able to bail them out. So that's where the edge is coming in here on the under 6. If this game was played next week, this would have been a flat 5.5. So that's where I have the edge on this total. Florida's a little bit short, but it's not enough for me to get on them on the road here, and especially because there is a Shesterkin factor, right? Like I still want to see as he's getting better and he's getting stronger, he's not someone that I necessarily just want to bet against right now. So we will leave it on the just on the under, even though I do think that Florida's a bit short.
All right. 2 games down, 2 best bets for you. And again, a reminder, we will recap all these at the very end of the show. If you do want to see our picks, whether it's on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, you can find those over in the BetStamp app in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ, just to see how everything's going, how we fare, sides, totals, puck lines, player props. You can break it all down. You can break it out month by month, whatever you want to do, and do your analysis on how we've done on the show over this massive sample size of, I guess, 2 years now, or decent, pretty good size sample size over the last year and a half, 2 years. You can go and check that out over in the BetStamp app, all logged and third-party verified in there. Now, moving on to the next game, the Toronto Maple Leafs hosting the Boston Bruins here tonight. The Leafs minus 125, best price available over at STX, our new friends of the Edgework show. And as well, the Bruins, best price available over at STX, again, plus 120 there. Now, total in this one currently sitting at 6.5. You can find a bunch of plus money to the over in this game. So, Money, what are your thoughts on where we're seeing this total and money line currently?
So it's interesting with the Bruins because I think that their offensive generation has not dipped significantly, and defensively they've actually started getting better lately. So what is the problem right now? It's their goaltending, right? They're not getting the consistent goaltending right now that they have for the better part of 2 years now, and against the Leafs team that is generating offensively. They are playing well. I think that this could be a tough situation for Boston. However, you look at the price, right? And the Leafs are based on where both of these teams are. The Leafs are where they should be priced, right? I don't know how much higher you can make the Leafs at this moment for you to have an edge to play to play them in the minus mid 120s. The 6.5 on when you first glance at a 6.5 total on a Bruins game, that does seem high, but again, their goaltending is a concern, and the Leafs are filling the net right now. So for that reason, I'll pass on the total, and I think that the Leafs are priced fairly as well.
All right. Well, nothing for you. So Money there. Anything, Moretto, that's piquing your interest or that you've bet on already?
No, I was looking hard at the Leafs, but I do think it is kind of priced fairly here. I wanted to be on them. Boston is just, they're struggling right now. I'm not sure whether Grizzlies going to play tonight. Obviously, Lindholm's still out. Patra's still out. Sounds like we haven't got an update yet, but I wouldn't expect Zacha to play tonight. It sounds like they were talking about him being either day-to-day or week-to-week. Either way, after he left the game on Saturday, I wouldn't expect him to play. I haven't seen anything. It's possible if the chat can help out. I'm trying to monitor for news, but also trying to monitor for spring training lineup. So it's a lot going on here, and I haven't seen anything about Zacha. But yeah, the Bruins are just hurting right now. The Leafs are playing much better hockey, and it would be Leafs or nothing for me. I just thought maybe we'd get a little bit of a better price, which we haven't. Honestly, would just the way both teams are playing right now would very much lean towards an over. But again, the total is pretty high, and it's hard to get on that, especially with Wall being back in net now too. Just don't necessarily see the Bruins generating enough, even though they are still very leaky defensively, and the Leafs haven't exactly shored things up. So, but again, total is higher than I thought it would be. Leafs are priced a little, higher than I thought they'd be too. So nothing for me here.
Moretto, when you say you wanted to bet on the Leafs, you don't actually mean you wanted to bet on the Leafs, do you?
No, I never want to bet on the Leafs.
Yeah.
You don't mind betting on the Leafs though, because it's like that sort of reverse jinx thing where it's like, hey, if the Leafs win, I win money. If they lose, then I'm happy. So kind of goes both ways there. It's not the worst thing in the world. Betting against the Leafs and then the Leafs win and then you lose money and the Leafs win. That's dark. Those are dark nights.
All right, let's move on here. A couple more games to look at on tonight's schedule. Next up, we're going to take a look at Columbus hosting the Vegas Golden Knights. Columbus plus 156, Vegas minus 167 right now, and a total of 6. But best price available minus 123 to the over. You can find that one starting to move in the direction of heading to 6.5s across the market. And if you look at the BetStamp app right now, that's pretty much what we're seeing it move to. Moretto, where are you at on this game tonight? And do you have another under for us?
No, I actually have the opposite here, and we've seen a little bit of back and forth in this total. This one is kind of bounced around a little bit. I think there's support for both sides of this. I am on the over 6.5 here at plus money. I think these are two of the highest event teams in the NHL since the All-Star break, and even dating back even further. The Blue Jackets, despite their injuries, to their credit, Ken Johnson's out for the year now. Fantilli's been out for a while. Obviously Line A they are still generating a ton of offense, and they're scoring goals. They're putting the puck in the net. Vegas is bleeding chances right now. They cannot stop anything. This should be a very back and forth game. I think we're going to see a lot of goals. Columbus, we should get Tarasov in net. This is the first game of a back-to-back. Merzlikins is banged up. He's day-to-day right now. I don't see why they would rush to start him tonight if he's dealing with any sort of minor injury, especially considering they play tomorrow. They did call up, I'm forgetting his name now, but they called up their AHL guy as insurance here. So I think we're going to get Tarasov in net, and I think we're going to get a very high-scoring kind of back-and-forth game. So over 6.5 is a bet for me.
And when it comes to the pricing here, obviously we talked a little bit about, as I was introing this game, where some of it has moved or some of these numbers are changing across. You see some of the sixes heavily juiced on those on the over. You see some 6.5s. There's plus money out there. There's minus 102s out to minus 105s on some of the over 6.5s. Obviously, if you can get a minus 105, minus 102 range or plus money, you'd prefer that rather than a minus 110 at the 6.5. But just in terms of where you kind of make this number out to and what your thoughts are on how far you'd be willing to play this, like where's the cutoff point for you here?
Like 6.5, kind of minus 105-ish would be good. I would prefer a plus money 6.5 to the minus 123 sixes, but I would prefer probably the minus 123 sixes to the minus 105 6.5s. But yeah, I mean, either way, I like the 6.5 here, and that's where I played it at, and that's where I'm comfortable giving it out at. I also would kind of lean Columbus here, but like just with all the injuries, I'm curious to hear somebody's thoughts on this because Vegas is not doing much to warrant this price tag. But again, you're probably, I mean, big goaltending edge, and despite how bad they're playing, Columbus is pretty banged up. So I don't know, it's kind of tough. I want to get there, but I just haven't been able to pull the trigger. Maybe he can talk me into it.
Yeah, and I mean, I usually don't disagree much with Alex. I think that we kind of look at the same things when we're evaluating teams. I'm on the over here as well, plus money 6.5. Vegas, if you look at so Vegas is interesting because obviously they do have a higher ceiling. They can't always get there, right? So when they are able to get there is because they've had a strong defensive effort. So then you look back to their games and when do they show that they can have a strong defensive effort? It's usually games that they want to get up for, right? There's a lot of intangibles there. I understand that, but if you go through their games, there's a logic behind that as well, right? You look at a game, the game that they had against Toronto, right? Where they won that game 6-2. That was a good defensive game, where they showed the kind of ceiling that they have in their game. Even in their loss against Boston, right? It was scored 5-4 final score, but that's not the way that I had that game scored. I had that game as Vegas playing a very strong defensive game and one of the worst games of the season for Aiden Hill, right? So, and you look at this game, maybe Vegas gets up for it. I'm not gonna bet on Vegas getting up for this game. So because they don't need to get to their ceiling in order to beat Columbus, right? And when Alice was asking if I can get on Columbus here, that's the reason I can't, right? Because Vegas they do have the pedigree. They've shown that they don't need to be at their ceiling to win these kind of games. Now, whether or not they show up, that's a whole different question. But I do know that in their recent form and with the lineup that they've been dressing in a game like this, they're fine with going back and forth with these teams. And Columbus has shown that they're fine going back and forth with everybody, right? So that's the reason why the plus money 6.5 is where I came in. And even though Vegas in their current form, they are inflated, Columbus is not a team that I'm going to be getting on at this point.
All right, so we lock in the over 6.5 at plus money there. Another one, a double best bet essentially here from the Monday show. And I'm going to circle back on this. I'm going to get your guys' thoughts because as Eric says here in the chat, it was something I just pulled up on the side as well. Samsonov in net for the Leafs. Left the ice first here. Looks like he's going to get the start. Is this change anything for you guys on where the total currently is sitting at? How do you kind of foresee the market adjusting to this? Will anything come within range here? I'm just kind of curious here, Moretto. I'll go to you first, but thoughts on even maybe where this total or the price is on this game, and if things might adjust, if you might be willing to jump in at some point.
I think the difference between Samsonov and how he's been playing lately and Wall is basically negligible in terms of like numbers. But I do think Wall is the better goalie between the two, but I don't think it's really enough to sway my opinion on this game. And especially now that we're pretty much painted 6.5, it's not going to get me onto the over.
So, Money, are you same page there, or would things change for you at all?
No, things wouldn't change for me. Samsonov, you look at the way he's played recently. Besides the Vegas game, he's been he's been an average goalie, right? And that's better than where he was earlier in the season, right? So, it wouldn't change for me. He's giving you a league average output here.
This comment here that just came in. Entering my savings on Pens to miss the playoffs at minus 350. Return than a high interest yield.
Not wrong.
So yeah, the Pens are I've been high on them all season, but my thoughts on them, they're another team where my thoughts have evolved as the season has gone on. I think that there's something wrong in that dressing room, right? Like you look at this road trip, right? That's a road trip where a team like the Pens, a veteran team like the Pens, it's not about the wins or losses for me ever. It's about the way the game was played, right? And you look at that Seattle game where they got off to a good start and they completely disappeared in the third period. You look at that Calgary game where they were playing well and Calgary made a push and they disappeared. Edmonton started with a push and the Penguins had no chance, right? So what's concerning is when these teams start making a push against the Penguins and a veteran team like that is not able to respond, that is more concerning than any wins or losses that show up for me.
All right, a couple more games here we'll continue to look at. Next up, the Colorado Avalanche hosting the Chicago Blackhawks. Minus 450, if that's something you're willing to stomach. Best price available on the Avs here tonight. The Blackhawks plus 384, and we're finding some plus money on the over 6.5 as of right now. So, Money, what are your thoughts on this game, the current price, and do you have any bets for us here?
Well, Colorado usually responds after bad losses, right? And like they were destroyed by Nashville, right? So like I expect them to play a good game, and a Colorado good game against Chicago means that they can name the number, right? So I mean, I'm not going to lay minus 450 or whatever, right? But but this is a game where Colorado should be able to kind of determine the flow of this game, the pace. They should be able to determine how many goals they want to score, right? So it's Colorado or nothing here, but I'm not betting that number.
Yeah, makes sense there. Moretto, any difference for you? Are you gonna sack up and lay this one?
This is no, I'm not. And this is obviously way too disgusting on the other side, even for me or Russell, I would say. I was on the under when these two teams played on Thursday at 6.5, but I think, well, one for one, the number has changed now. We're not really getting 6.5 in this game, not a true 6.5 at least. And we are also now in Colorado, and circumstances coming into this game have changed a bit where, like we talked about, Avalanche just lost to the Predators, to my Predators, to the world-beating Predators on Saturday night, and the playoff-bound Predators, maybe we should say. So I think that this is a spot where I'm not looking to get in front of the wagon that could be this Avs offense tonight, and this is not a game that I would expect them to maybe sleepwalk in like we had the potential for on Tuesday. Even though they didn't, the Under still got home, but that was a pretty dominant win, and there's no reason why this can't be the same, but just even a little bit worse. So nothing for me here. I think that I just don't even have interest in putting this game on.
so money. Before we go to the next game here, just briefly was brought up there the Preds, and we got a little bit of a reaction out of you. What are your thoughts on what did Moretto call them? The playoff bound Preds? Is that the wording that was used?
The world beating Preds and the playoff bound
World
Preds.
beating playoff bound Preds.
I mean, if they keep playing St. Louis, San Jose, Anaheim, Ottawa, Minnesota, like
Colorado, yeah.
Colorado, yeah, right. I mean, seriously though, they do have a couple of good wins mixed in there as well. They'll probably make the 8th seed, right? Unless if Calgary can catch them, but yeah, my thoughts on Nashville hasn't changed. I think that they are starting to get more consistent goaltending from Saros, and that's what they need, right? But they're not a team that's a shoe-in for the playoffs for me at this point.
All right, final game of the night here that we'll take a look at. The Calgary Flames playing host to the Seattle Kraken. Flames minus 127, yet again, best price available at Stacks. If you're not signed up, if you're in Ontario, if you're in Ontario and you haven't signed up for Stacks, please make sure to go over there. Again, you can also click the link in the description of this video as well as on podcast. If you want to head on over to the Discord, you can engage in the chat over there, send messages back and forth with people, and find people who are looking to go head to head with you on some of these prices. But Flames minus 127. Go ahead.
I just wanted to add to it. You're also looking at, like, if you are in STX Stacks, whatever Stacks STX team, you sign up there, and you if you are wondering how to place bets, because obviously being an exchange, the layout's a little bit different. It is very straightforward if you get a little quick tutorial. We're here to help if you want to message us or message any of us. The team over there is very helpful too. They can just show you how to navigate your way through there pretty easily.
Yes, agreed. And as for why I was laughing, you guys in the chat, in the best way possible, you guys are idiots. Peter saying the Nalexville Moretters. This is what caught my eye while I was trying to get through that and introduce this game. But anyways, continuing on with what's going on here tonight. Total of 6 here in this game. And broke down that pricing yet again. Seattle plus 116, the Flames minus 127. Moretto, what are your thoughts on this game? And are there any bets for you that you're going to be making here?
On the other side, I just saw that the Predators are facing the Habs tomorrow, so I'm going to be all out of sorts in the morning on tomorrow's show. It's going to be rough. In terms of this game, I am very, very low on the Kraken. Do not think that they are a good hockey team. They are a team I want to fade, not a team I want to back at any point. Whereas the Flames are showing they have fight in them. They are not throwing the towel in on the season. It's been impressive to see how they've kept playing, kept battling despite trading Zadorov, trading Lindholm, trading Tanev. Now the rumors around Hannafin, the rumors around Markstrom. It could have been very easy for this team to sort of throw in the towel and go down the tank, but that has not happened. They've now won, I think, 4 or so in a row. Kadri's playing fantastic. They are very much a team I want to buy on, and the Kraken are a team I want to fade. But I don't know. I think that's kind of baked into this number. So it is Flames or nothing for me, but I think the price is about right. Hopefully we can see maybe Seattle takes some money throughout the rest of the day, although I do not really expect that to be the case. But Flames are nothing here, but it is going to be nothing for me.
Do you have any bets in this game, So Money?
Yeah, I do. It's moving though, but the under 6 up to minus 120 is where I have this. Couple of things here. Agree with Alex. Calgary, they are playing at a high level right now. Seattle been low on them all season, but what's preventing me from making a bet on Calgary here is that Seattle has shown the last couple of games that they are able to elevate their play right now. So Seattle has been playing better. They did deserve to win that Pittsburgh game 2-0. They probably deserved a better fate against the Oilers, but the common denominator in those games, as we move further back, is that they are starting to get more consistent goaltending the last month or so, which is what we've been talking about all season with them, right? They do want to play low event hockey, but they don't get the goaltending and it doesn't show up in the scoreboard, right? So now we are seeing it slowly starting to show up in the scoreboard as well. So that's where I have this edge. If this game was played a week from now, we'd see a 5.5. All right, so that's why I've got the under 6 here as well.
All right, there you go. That's all 6 games for today. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel, turn on notifications so you get notified every single time that we go live. And as well, follow us on Twitter at EdgeworkHQ if you want to see show updates in real time, see when we're going live, when we are live, or if you want to see some recaps of things that have been going on for us across the team throughout the course of the week. You can find it all over there. So make sure to follow us, EdgeworkHQ. And as well, welcome to our new sponsor over at STX. If you want to follow them on Twitter, you can follow them at STX_app. Make sure to check them out, and you can join their Discord there as well to get involved in the conversation and find yourself bets across the exchange, whether it's for the NHL, NBA, NFL when that season's back. If you're looking for college football content, you can find that as well in there. And if you're looking for college football information, we got plenty of content coming up throughout the course of the day here today. First, the World Putting League, 1 p.m. Myself, Rob Pizzola, on the call over there, breaking that down from 1 to about 4. You can find that on the Hammer Betting Network or the Hammer HQ YouTube channel as well. You can go head on over to theworldputtingleague.com if you want to watch that live. You can bet on that at a couple different sports books, so make sure to check that out. We'll be breaking down the betting markets, who we're picking, if you haven't already seen it over on the Hammer HQ Twitter account. As well, after that, 5 o'clock, Joey Knish, Brad Powers return to your screens to break down some more college football content, whether it's about Joe Milton and his rocket arm over the past couple days, the NFL draft combine. They'll be recapping all of that, as well as some of the moves across the market where people are transferring, entering the portal, coaches changing, coaches leaving, coaches coming in, whatever it is, they'll be breaking it down. And then we will be back here tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So make sure to like and subscribe here to the Edgework HQ YouTube channel. But as for the picks for tonight, just to recap those and see where we're at, 4 best bets for us on this Monday morning. And we will start with the Blues-Flyers game. We're taking the under 6 minus 108 there. In the Panthers-Rangers, we're going under 6 minus 114. In Vegas-Columbus, we've got the over 6.5 plus 100. And finally, the Kraken Flames under 6 minus 119. That'll do it for us here on today's show. Moretto, Salmani, appreciate you guys taking the time to do this. If you enjoyed the new intro here for the show as well, make sure to drop a comment on the video after the fact, like the stream, whatever. Tweet at us, let us know that you liked it, didn't like it, whatever it is. We're open to feedback. And yeah, we apologize. Joey Pucks, he would have laid it with Colorado.
If he did, we probably would have got minus 350 by now. It should have been, good.
He might have moved that one in the right direction. Yeah, if he did. But no, we did not. 4 best bets for us there. And again, you can find those over in the BetStamp app in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ. Thanks to everyone who tuned in here today. We appreciate the support as always. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow morning. So Money, Alex, thank you guys for doing this again. Enjoy the rest of your days. To everyone in the chat, enjoy the games tonight. Good luck on your bets.